Hello viewers, welcome to English for my world. In this session, we are going to study the two important areas of speaking, that is, how to welcome the chief guest. How to welcome the chief guest, number one, and number two is how to propose vote of thanks. What is the method of proposing vote of thanks? To begin with, for anybody to go and stand on the dais and to welcome the audience, welcome the gathering, it can be a workshop, it can be a meeting, an academic meeting or an official meeting, or it can be a particular ceremony or a particular program such as wedding, reception. In any of these areas, we need people to host the program. People who can act as compeers, C-O-M-P-E-R-E, compeer. We also call them as anchors. So these people, they host the program and they ensure that the program is conducted smoothly. So if you stand in the place of a host, or imagine if you are asked to host the program, and if you are asked to invite the chief guest, give the welcome note in a workshop, in a meeting, or in a particular function such as a wedding reception, how do you do that is the question of today's session. Well, first of all, the moment we think about dais, the moment we think about audience gathering, that sends jittery waves down the spine. People are usually tensed to stand in front of gatherings. To stand on the dais, people are usually tensed. Well, the very idea, some of them they say, no, I don't think I'll be able to do this. You better ask someone else, somebody else to do that. I cannot do all this, because I need to prepare for that, I need to wear my dress properly, I need to take care of so many things there, and if something goes wrong, I'll be questioned. I'll be blamed for that. So we try to avoid such programs where we are asked to lead the program or lead the session or act as a host in conducting the program smoothly. Well, language is all about expression. It is said that emotions need expressions and expressions need language. When we are thorough about what we are doing, and when we know that we have the required knowledge of vocabulary, knowledge of grammar, and neutral pronunciation without the influence of mother tongue, without weird pronunciations, I'm sure you can also lead the program. You can be a host in inviting the audience, welcoming the audience, or even welcoming the chief guest in a program or in a conference. Because these days these are common. Business meetings are common. Official meetings are common. Even as a student, you are supposed to do PowerPoint presentations about a project. It can be a mini project, it can be a major project, isn't it? So here I am to help you about how to welcome the chief guest of a program, how to invite the audience to the program. Imagine the context here is, it is a workshop, and the workshop is on communication skills. A professor has been invited to speak about communication skills. That is a college, that's a degree college, and all the principal, all the faculty members, teachers, everyone is present in the conference hall. and you are one of the students who has been asked to host the program. You are actually one of the students and you have been asked to host the program. You are one of the senior students in the college. You are in the final year of your graduation. How do you host it? How do you welcome the gathering? Well, to begin with, you say, "Good morning, everybody. Good morning, all. I welcome you to the program on, or to the workshop on communication skills." Right? But before you welcome, since there are honorable dignitaries there, respectable dignitaries there, it's also good to specifically highlight their names. Principal Madam, faculty members, and my dear students. Good evening to you all, or good morning everybody. Usually workshops are conducted in a day's workshop or 2 days workshop. So in the morning when you invite them, you say, "Dear Principal Madam, my dear teachers and students, good morning to you all. Welcome to the workshop on communication skills." And then you go on introducing 2 or 3 words about that workshop. In this workshop, you are going to learn so many new things about how to introduce yourself, about how to face interviews confidently and boldly, about how to participate in role plays, in developing the knowledge of speaking, so on and so forth. We are going to have very exciting activities, interesting activities, and we have in our midst Professor Verma, who is working as one of the senior professors in the University of Hyderabad. Professor Verma has authored several books. He is known as a philanthropist in organizing several social service activities. Yes, you can speak about his educational qualifications. In the first place, he has received his doctoral degree from a particular university. He has received several awards and rewards. He is one of the respectable and honorable members of the educational society, so on and so forth. So you go on introducing the chief guest briefly. Briefly introduce the chief guest. From there on, you will invite the chief guest to come to the dais. And remember, inviting the chief guest again has to be done very officially, formally, and at the same time in a grand way. The member are respecting the professor who has graced the occasion. So what sort of words can be used in this kind of occasion or in these kinds of meetings? You can use phrases such as taking a program further, going to the next, taking a program further, a huge round of applause. So when do we usually give a huge round of applause? Probably while inviting the person to the dais. Let us give a big round of applause or a huge round of applause. I call upon. For example, if you are calling the members or the dignitaries to come and occupy their seats on the dais one after the other, one by one, then you should be careful about introducing each person, his name, his designation, his major achievements, and then you ask the person to come to the dais and occupy the respectable seat. We can also use the words such as grace the occasion, grace the dais with their presence. For example, in addition to the professor who is an expert, who is a resource person, who has come to conduct the workshop. You will also invite the principal madam. So one after the other, the members are invited onto the dais. But to honor the chief guest of that program, we first of all give first priority to the chief guest, not to the other people. So you say, may I now invite the chief guest to please come to the dais and occupy the seat. May I now invite the chief guest to please grace the dais with his presence or with her presence. Then you will go to the rest of the members, such as principal or any other senior lecturers, to come to the dais one by one, one after the other, and occupy the seats there on the dais. What are the other words that can be used here in welcoming the chief guest? I say on behalf of. Where do we use the word on behalf of? Well, on behalf of is a phrase that is used when you talk about your institution. For example, for instance, we can say, good morning, sir. On behalf of our college and all the students of this college, we extend a very warm welcome to you. It's my honor, it's my privilege to stand here and to welcome you to please come to the dais and occupy your seat. So every time we use the word on behalf of is on behalf of the institution, or on behalf of the faculty members, on behalf of the management, on behalf of the staff. Now, this is one of the useful phrases, important phrases that one can remember while inviting the chief guest or while hosting the session, hosting the program. Okay. Now, if you look at the other word, other phrase or expression, that is sit tight. This phrase is used to say that please sit in a focused manner without distracting the concentration of the speaker, without deviating the concentration of the speaker. Because when you sit tight, you sit very enthusiastically. You sit with a lot of zeal and curiosity to listen to the speaker. You don't get up and walk up and down all the time, disturbing the program, going out and coming in, opening the door several times and closing the door several times. So indirectly, you are hinting the audience to please sit calm and focused and listen to the speaker of the day. Fine. Okay. Now, I've already used the word gracing the dais. We can use words such as, we are honored by your presence, sir. We are blessed by your presence. We are waiting desperately, anxiously, eagerly to listen to you. A person who has authored several books and a great writer who has received several awards and rewards, and a philanthropist who is involved in several social activities, an administrator who held several administrative positions. A person with this kind of vast experience, with such rich experience, we are waiting enthusiastically. We are waiting so curiously to listen to you. So these words can be, these phrases and expressions can be used while introducing the chief guest to the audience. These kinds of words also arouses the interest of the audience. These kinds of expressions and phrases exactly and precisely motivates them and inspires them to listen to the speaker attentively. That means you are actually creating a kind of hype of the speaker. Such a kind of person, this is the kind of person whom we have in our midst. Right. Now, going to the next one, I've used the word, I've written the word, it is an honor. And I've also used the word already. Now, lighting the lamp or light the lamp is usually a common formality that is done before the conduct of the workshop, or before the workshop is officially launched, before the workshop officially begin. So, lighting the lamp is a formality. So, we invite the chief guest to please light the lamp. So, the words that can be used here are lightening the lamp or light the lamp. Beginning from a huge round of applause, calling upon, on behalf of, sit tight, gracing the dais, it's an honor, it's a privilege. These are the words that are usually used in inviting the chief guest. What else can be used? What else can be used? Introduction about his qualifications and accolades, awards and rewards. And most importantly, you can speak about the topic or the theme. You can also introduce, for instance, if the program or if the event is about annual day, college annual day, you can speak a bit about the annual day and the kind of cultural activities that are going to happen, that are going to take place, because that is the beginning of the program, to ensure that the audience sit tight, to ensure that the audience sit comfortably in the chairs. And for instance, if it is an event such as Independence Day, the way you begin the program or the way you introduce the event is totally different. I am now trying to give you the way you speak about Independence Day as a host before the principal or before the vice chancellor delivers his keynote on Independence Day. Remember, you are the host. Probably you can start with a sentence such as, India is a land of varied cultures and traditions. We have different kind of people living in our country. And today we are here celebrating the independence of our country. What an incredible country is ours that has unity in diversities. We have different castes, creeds, colors, religions, but we live as one country. And when we celebrate our independence today, we remember the sacrifice of our famous leaders, of our great national leaders. The way they fought for the independence, the way they laid their lives for the freedom, for the independence of our country. And not to forget the way our soldiers have fought so bravely for our country. Because when a country is independent, the country should also be protected by the soldiers. So we remember all those leaders on that day, we respect them, we honor them. And yes, that is the day when we talk about patriotism, national flag and other songs that we sing. But that patriotism should continue not just on the day of independence, but also on the other days. So depending on the context, depending on the situation, the way we invite the chief guest differs. The kind of phrases and expressions that are used in different situations, that differ. Fine. All right. Now that I have shown some of the phrases that are used in introducing the topic, welcoming the gathering to a program, to a workshop, or to a wedding reception, or to annual day, or to Independence Day, let us also look at the closing ceremony. Opening remarks, welcoming the chief guest. I would also like to throw light on some of the phrases and expressions that are used in closing ceremony or valediction where a person is supposed to propose vote of thanks. For instance, for example, after the function comes to an end or after the program comes to an end, somebody has to go there, stand there and propose the vote of thanks. Now this is again a responsibility that needs to be done carefully without forgetting the names of people who assisted, who supported, who strengthened in proper conduct of the program. Because you forget the names and the persons will be offended because they feel like only particular names, only specific names were read out and our names were completely ignored. We were not considered. We were not thanked properly during the function. That would be the negative remark of those who worked for the conduct or for the successful conduct of the program or workshop or that event. It can be wedding, it can be Independence Day, it can be a workshop, anything. So how to do that without boring the audience, because by the time the program comes to an end, the audience must be in a mood to retire, to disperse. So the person who conducts this valediction or the person who proposes the vote of thanks should be cheerful in the first place. He should be jovial, he should be humorous. He should not let the audience feel bored at any point of time. And the vote of thanks should not be more than for 5 or 10 minutes. It should be very brief, very succinct and to the point. So probably we can start, or the person who proposes the vote of thanks can start it with a very good quotation, such as, leaders are the backbone of creating an event. A leader is the backbone of creating an event. Team members bring life to that event. This is one quotation which can bring life to the situation, to the vote of thanks. We know that leaders are the creators of events. They design the event, they develop the event, the sequence, the way it should progress. And without team members, we can never ever imagine any program to be successful, to be interesting and to be useful. Imagine, for example, for instance, we are talking about a wedding ceremony, or we are talking about the workshop on communication skills. The professor has come and the workshop has come to an end. There is a 2-day workshop. First day, second day, and on the second day, one of the faculty members stands there proposing the vote of thanks. So she says, leaders create events, and the leader of this workshop is our vice chancellor, he is our principal, because usually the head of the institution is thanked in the first place. He is the backbone, he is the mastermind in organizing this workshop. He felt the need to improve the communication skills of our students in our college. So he was instrumental in requesting the senior professor working in the Central University to please spare his time and conduct this workshop for the benefit of our students. So he is the backbone of this workshop. He is the mastermind of this workshop. Then it would be unpardonable if I forget some of the names here. Especially, it would be unpardonable. But for their support, but for the support of our office staff. The meaning of but for the support, without the support of our office staff, this program would not have been successful. All the office attendants, the executives, all the ground staff who worked relentlessly for the successful conduct of this program, I thank each one of them. It would be unpardonable if I forget their names. and they have been pillars of support. They have been the main pillars of support in the successful conduct of this program, of this workshop, in successfully conducting this wedding, conducting this reception. So these are some of the phrases and expressions that can be used in proposing vote of thanks. I hope the introduction about welcoming the chief guest and vote of thanks has been useful to all our viewers. Remember them. Try to read some good books on this, on welcoming the chief guest, introducing the topic to the gathering, and also proposing vote of thanks, so that you don't have to press panic buttons when you are asked to do it on the dais. Because a person with good communication skills, a person who has mastered the language, can successfully do these kinds of programs without fear, without any sort of nervousness, and you can prove yourself as one of the successful compeers, successful hosts in conducting such programs. Thank you for watching the program. I wish you all success.